Hi all. So welcome to day 4 of this JMeter course. And as a recap, so what we are doing is we are here. We are discussing the core concepts, right? So till yesterday, yeah, we have started discussing the HTTP protocol. So continuing with that, so what we learned yesterday that there is HTTP protocol, right? Now in the HTTP protocol, there are five schemas are there, or five types, or you can say five components, not type actually, five component of that. Then we have learned that a user action or a web application generates a HTTP HTML request, right, in the form of URL to the server. Okay, and so whenever there will be a user action, technically which is called as transaction, uh, it will generate a HTTP HTML request in the form of URL. Sometime a transaction or the user action that we do can generate a single request, one request. Sometime there can be two also, right? Multiple also, not two. We can say multiple, right? So we'll see on this. I'll explain this more on uh, slowly, maybe today or tomorrow. So yeah, and likewise on an application there can be multiple scenarios, and if you consider one scenario in that there will be multiple transaction, and when we do multiple transaction we can see multiple requests or multiple URLs. So at the end of day, and one more thing what we learned that user action is a click. Hmm? A user action, if you think minutely or if you observe it, it's just a click one, or a transaction is a click only at the end of it. Now that click is what it's generating a request to server, right, and server sends us the response, right? Okay, then uh, in that also yeah, so I didn't cover this HTML resources, so we'll talk about this, then we'll go and discuss about this stuff about it. So I'll type www.amazon.in. So you will observe the if you just scroll up, you will observe the will so you'll observe the main uh, request here. Type it will be showing document. There will be there may be one more request called 301. So we will talk about that slowly later on. Right. So this is what type HTML, and you can see the URL also if you click. Right. I think I have told you. We can see the URL which is here. But generally we have to focus from here, not here. Right. And even it will show a type called document, initiator document type HTML, and okay. Now apart from that, okay, so this is the understanding. So let us say this request went, right? This request went, and response will come. So this request went to the server, and response comes from server. This is the page that we see, right? But actually, the response doesn't come in this form. How the response comes? Response comes in a code format or a text form. Okay. So that you can see here in this tab only. So if your request is there, and then if you click on that particular request, you'll see multiple tabs here. You see this response. If you click on that, by default mode, it will show HTML mode. You see the same page it's showing, right? The which is here we are getting. But here one button is there called raw. If you click on that, it will show you the code. See. So the response actually come in the code format. This is the code. Right. If you want to verify more, there is one more trick to do that. So on any web page, any web page, you click anywhere, right, and you will observe a option called view page source, right. So click on that, and it will see, it will tell you the code. Right? This is the code for that page. Okay, code, or this is also called as text. It is everywhere, even our Google. Suppose the simple Google page. If I do this, see, you'll observe Google com, right, the HTML document, and if you click on that, so this is the request, and we have the response here, right, response tab. If you go to the response tab, it's showing the same thing, correct? The same thing, but actually, if you go and click on raw, yeah, so it will show you the original one. So this is the code, right. If you want to verify more, uh, you just click here and click on view page source. So code. I do not think this is a very small code. It's a very big code. If I scroll from left to right, see, right, see, this much complex code and big code is responsible for this simple web page that we see, right? So no need to go in that detail, right? That is not our job. Our job is to just understand few things. Okay, so the response comes in which format? Code format, okay, or the text format, right? This is everywhere. Okay, now so whenever you see the request here, so how to identify? I have told you 3 4 points that generally the URL will be reflecting here. Then sometime one transaction will have multiple requests also, right? So that I'll explaining slowly. Don't worry. For just now understand that suppose we did one transaction. One transaction means one user action. Or what we did, we launched the home page, right? So that is one transaction. So it has suppose one call here, one request. How to identify? You slowly when you practice, automatically you get the idea. But few things like the URL will be reflecting. If you click on more, the whole detail URL will be reflecting. Then it will be showing that initiate document type HTML. Correct. If you click on that, you will get the response. Suppose header tab will show you the detail, and it will show you the response of that page. Okay, response of that page. So uh, and if you click on row, it will show you the main source. So that it means that that is the main request responsible for bringing the response. So that way we identify, right? But this is for a beginner. If you just keep on practicing on many applications, you will get the idea. This is not very tough. It's very simple things. So we got the response, right? So request went and the response response comes in code format. Okay. Now what happens? Understand. The request went. This was the request, which is in the form of URL, and the response came from the server. Right. This is server and this is browser. So from browser side, when the user does a user action or transaction, or technically, if you understand, it's called transaction, but in layman's language, you will understand. It's a click, right? You just put the URL and hit the enter button. So click only, right? Or enter, same thing. So a URL got generated, which is in form of a request, a HTTP HTML request. It went to the server and server sends us the response, right? The response always comes in code format or the text format. Okay, very clear. Note. Now understand next point. When the response comes, the response is rendered. Okay, the response is rendered or processed. We can say it rendering or process anything. So this response which comes in code format, this is, you will not understand anything from this, right? So this whole response will be processed, or you can say it will be rendered, right? By whom? By the browser. Okay, by the browser. And after this processing and rendering, you see this beautiful page. So actually, this is the page we see. Right? This is the page for user. But what is the process going beneath or in the background is what? The response came in code format, and browser processed that response, the code, right? Or you can say it has rendered that, and then we see this beautiful page. Right? That activity is going. Now, who does that? The browser does that. Okay. So that is the work of browser. That's why we need the browser. Okay. That is the main purpose of browser. Why we use the browser? Because normally, no, what you will do with that code, right? And server will only send the response in code format. Okay. So that is the use of browser. Understand? Now, while rendering or processing, what happens is that page is still loading, right? But we had already received the response, correct? But it was loading. It was taking time. Why? Because that's what I'll be explaining slowly. This is called client side. Many people talk about client side performance. We had already got the response, right? Hope you observed, but it took time. Still, it's see on top. It's taking time because after the code is or this response is received, it is processed, and that is what it takes time. Right? So we had already response, and it was taking time because the browser was processing this code. It's a huge page, huge code. You see. Now that's what we are understanding. That while let us say went, request went, response came, response is in code format. After that, what will happen? Browser will uh, process or render this code. Now, in process of this rendering, what browser will do? It will download the non-HTML resources or the embedded resources. Okay, it will download non-HTML resources or embedded resources. Right, embedded resources of that page. Okay, so you will see that's why you are seeing the many things which is their downside. We have the request here, but downside if you see, if you go to the type, there are CSS is there, PNG, JPG, and all those things. And if you just scroll, there are many things. Same, many JPEG. Mostly are images only. If you observe here, a type or initiator image, right? Mostly are there. Most of them. And then you will be having JavaScript file, JS file. There will be called as script. You can see the extension. Right? Again, below mostly images because this page is full of images, right? Most of them. So what will be there? You see, images are there. Okay, image. Image has multiple formats: GIF, PNG. Okay. Then these are something different. We'll talk about this protocol later on. For now, related to that website. So GIF, PNG. Okay. Uh, JPEG. Right? Yeah, JPEG. And then the GS file. Right, JS file. And then like that, and some CSS files are there, which you may have seen on top style sheets. So it renders them. and process them. So while processing, it downloads all the images, then it process the CSS file, it process the JavaScript file, and then it makes that whole page ready, which looks which is, let us say, this much big it is. So that's why so many are there, and that's why it took little bit more time initially loading, right? And that is the reason we see this beautiful page. Now, what is the process? Processing means, see, that is what coding, right? If you have observed. So this is the code, suppose. So in normal language also, suppose you have done little bit of coding somewhere in your career. So you write a code and then you got the output. But before output, when you run the command, the compiler will compile that code, right? And it will debug, and then we get the result. So this is the code. So the normal technical language, you can also say that browser is compiling or making ready this code to get this output. Now, what is there actually in this code? In this code, all the informations are there in this main code that we see. Whole details about this page is there. Suppose I'll give you one example. Let us say, suppose this image. This image, suppose I'm clicking on one of this image here, and it is displaying these jeans, right? Two double jeans are there. So you can see this here. That image is here on. It's there, right? Likewise, any other image goes here. See this. It's here on. So the whole page, what it should be built of. The whole information is there, and it gets executed, or you can say processed, rendered. Each thing, each component, right? Anything. Even one more. Suppose here I'll click some other images for this pressure cooker, yeah, or pressure cooker, right? Even if you hover on each image, if you just hover your mouse, it will display. See, this is a CPU displaying, or a bed, right? Like that, and all will be there. All on that bed is here, right? That pressure cooker is here. That CPU is here. So what right? So hope you are understanding that. And this all image. Let us say I'll click on this image, and wait. Not an issue. Just a second. I think there is some problem with mouse. Oh, okay. So here, side bar. I have opened. Yeah. So suppose any image, right? Suppose this is the image. Yeah. Okay, this image. It's a coffee machine, right? Or anyone. Let us say anyone. This one. Fine. It is there somewhere here. Now, if we go and check its name. So this image name is something. Okay. I'll copy that, and I have copied that, right? And I'll go to the main request which brought the response. So this is the response, which is obviously in code, and I'll try to find that out. Yeah, I'll do Control F and I'll paste it, and I'll try to search. See, it's there or not? Right, it's there. Likewise, anything if you click and try to search, all those will be there in this main response. This is the response. In that image, all the CSS file, and many things, text, all this thing related to this page has came from the server side. But and that's what, to make it ready, the that is what processed or rendering, right? So when the response come, then browser downloads all the images, process them, process the CSS thing, the JavaScript thing, right? And then it makes the website that look like that, or beautiful, right? Since all these calls, right, their information is embedded in the main response. Okay, embedded. Understand? It's embedded. Embedded means it's there. Okay, this is the main request went, and this is the main response came, right? Okay, which is in code format. After that, whatever we see, all their information is there in this main response, like I have shown you, right? So they are embedded, right? They are embedded in the main response that server is sending. That's why they are called embedded resources or non-HTML, because the main request is called HTML response, HTML request. Okay, these are non-HTML. Now it's there for every page, everywhere. This concept is there. Even let us say I'll show you the Google, the main simple page of Google. Now let us open the Google. This I hit the enter button on Google, and this is the main request. This is the response, right? Basically, by default, it will show like that. But if you have to click on that uh, right hand side, raw, so this is the response. Or if you click on here and click on view page source, this is the response. Right? But apart from that, if you see downside again for this also, here more. So I'll click on CSS here. Some CSS files are there. I'll click on image here. Image are not more, right? It is showing because it's a very simple page, right? And then we have chase files. Okay. JavaScript files are more on this page. So it's all depend. We do not have to go in that details, why it's more, why it's less. No, just understand the concept. Okay. This is more logical page. That's why JS file are there. Okay. So this concept is everywhere. So that's why they are called embedded resources. Now, when the response comes, since there are many for this page, so rendering or processing of this response takes time, right? So this load was little slow, right? Even the response came. You have seen this request was fired and response came, but still this page was not fully loaded because it was rendering, right? In the beginning of you have seen that. Or shall I show you once again? This time it has happened little fast, but it is still loading. Find that request here. Sometime it will be fast. Main thing is while the things are downloading, right? I have to just scroll up and then capture that request because it immediately scrolls down, and that time I'm lagging, right? So and in meantime it has already processed, so it's not feasible to show you that much immediately. Directly immediately going down. Yeah. Again, it immediately went down. But do not worry. Okay. Initially we observed. Sometime it made little slow, and we observed the thing why it was slow. Even we had the response here. One more time, I'll just try. Just taking time. I'll just click on HTML. It will be easy to click. Response came. Response came a little faster. Okay. And then we had the website. Right? So here the things were a little slower. Here it was immediate, right? Because the code was there, it came immediately, and then we had processing. So here we see little late, right? We just observe, right? Try I'll do. Here we had the response in code form, and now it's fully loaded. Okay, now it's fully. So that is the reason, right? So server has send you already the response, but on website side, on the user side, it takes time. Okay? Little time process that. Fine. Where were we? Okay, so now immediately I'll explain. So this is called rendering, right? Processing and all the website. Mostly here the images will be there, and that is why we see things more bigger here, right? Because here more images are there and they get downloaded, processed. So you got the idea, right? So no need to worry. Do not get confused what the downside the things are there. They are all embedded resources called. Okay, and it's there on every web page. Every click you do, this concept is there on every website, on every application. A application cannot exist by without this. Okay, without the embedded resources. Only simply request will not be there. Will be having the every page will have this. Now I'll just explain all this. What just for information sake, we should know what a CSS file does. I've shown you, right? There are CSS files. So CSS files, full form cascading style sheets. They are they decide they beautify the web page, or you can say they decide the theme. Okay, theme means suppose this will be in black color. This is actually the color stuff, color coding that we see. This is light blue, or this is gray black, right? Like that. All these theme, right? Theme you see that color stuff mostly, right? That are uh, that is decided by the CSS file. Okay, fine. Now we have images, so there can be many images and videos will be there in all this format. You have seen this format all over there. We have seen JPEG was there, JF, PNGs. Apart from that, GPG you can see SWG, OF for fonts will be there, XD, icons, favicons. All you will observe them. All this file with this category which you will observe them, they are in category of images or videos. Videos will be very rare. Uh, but they are of images, fonts, or videos. Okay. Fonts, hope you understand, right? Fonts means the writing over there. It should be in which color, which type, the any writing like this writing or this writing. This is called fonts. Images and videos we got. Okay. Then we have the last one, which is the important JS files. Okay. So we have understood this. We have understood JS file. What JS file does. So JS file are responsible for the logical functionality on a web page on user side. Remember, on user side. Okay, this is important for doing logical functionality on a web page on user side. So what is this logical functionality? So I'll give you a small demo. Okay? Just understand in a very simple way. So I'm going to open a website called Flipkart. On Flipkart also you see this is happening. Everywhere this is there. Okay, we have the main call here, right? Now clear this. We'll go to login. Your login is done. I'll click on login. Clicking on. I'm going to click on login. So when I clicked on login, again one more page came, and you can see here this is the request. You can verify here, right? And then downside the embedded resources. So nothing new in that. Okay, but now we'll try to understand. See here. Okay, before I explain that, do not focus on these calls. Okay, if you observe, they even I do not do anything. You'll observe these calls will be made. Okay, and it was happening in Amazon also. Actually, these calls are generally implemented on live website to collect many things. Automatically within some time interval, you will see even I'm not doing anything here, right? I'm not doing any user action. You'll observe this, the same call will be repeatedly made. Just wait, see, they are getting made, right? after some just a few seconds of duration. So what happens like on any website, the applications try to collect the user information. You might have heard of many time, right? In news also these things has came, privacy or this stuff. So actually what the user is doing, what is its location, many stuff. They try to read in the background even without our knowledge. So suppose you have opened the not the detail, not the security information, but the light, you can say not that much sensitive information, right? But somewhat information they try to track, like what user is searching or the location, let us say. So these calls just try to collect that and send it to the server. And you see, even I'm not doing, they repeatedly gets made. Okay. So do not focus on that. These calls are generally there on the Hive website. Even also, if you just focus on any one of them, if you click them, it will be not the URL, the name will not be directly uh, aligning with the name of the application. Okay. So like yesterday I've shown you the when we do a user action and we have multiple requests, right? When we do multiple user action, this thing never changes, right? This is, and that is one more way to decide. Okay, these calls are related to my correct user action what I have done, because we have so many calls we see there, right? So no need to get confused. You have to just focus on are the main request. How to decide the main request? Few points I have just explained, right? It will be of type HTTP, HTML, initiator. It will show as document. It will bring the response, right? It will bring what response, correct? And that URL you can check. That URL you can check over here also, right? That way. And sometime there one transaction or one user action can have 2 or 3 calls, multiple calls also. So how to decide that? So that also I'll explain later on. But this is how, right? So coming to this, if you observe, even their name do not align with our my application thing, right? So that is the thing. So ignore this call. Even if you do not do anything, you can just open the network tab and you'll see this thing will be automatically get repeated, right? So we do not have to go there. Now let us understand the so next time do not focus on this, right? Just identify them. It's like Sonic and then this called palm.nr, right? Whatever. Now what I'm trying to show you guys is what a JS file does, right? What is logical functionality on a user end. Okay. So suppose it's asking for a email ID, a mobile number. Now what I'll do, generally a mobile number is 10 digit. I'm going to give a mobile number which is of 9 digit. Okay. 6 8 9, it's just 9 digit, right? I'll click on request OTP. Okay, you'll see it will show me a pop-up here, and here nothing will be made. Okay, but there will be some call made. Do not focus on that. As I said, it was something called Sonic, right? .NET and then BAM, right? So do not focus on. Apart from that, there will be no main call. Didn't happen luckily, and we see, you see this came. It didn't happen anything, right? Yes. It is what it is saying. It's saying that please enter a valid mobile number. From how it has thrown this message. Generally, user will think that a request will go to the server with this mobile number, and on server side, this mobile will be verified whether it is correct or not, and then it should throw an error message. Right? This used to happen earlier, very long back when technology was not that much improved. Now, what technology is doing is most of the thing they are trying to get that done on user side, so that there will be less stress or less load on the server. Okay, so generally you'll be thinking, okay, when we did this and suppose I entered a wrong thing, a request will should be going, and server will be verifying whether this mobile number is correct or not, and then server has thrown this error message. You people will be thinking like this, right? No, but actually no, it's not like that. You see any call made making it, there is no such call, right? Why? Because before sending the call, on this page only, the JS file, JavaScript file, has checked whether this uh, request or whether this entered credential is correct or not. If it is not correct, it has thrown a error message, right? Like that. Right. So this is what logical functionality that are done on user side on any page. On Google, I just show you like there are more JS calls because on Google page, main page, there are more logical things going on. So you'll see more JS files here. So there will be many things. Even I do not know, but yeah. So on user end, some logical thing that needs to be executed. These JS files are there. Okay. So just one example which we can understand. Now what I'll do, I'll show you the next thing. I'll now enter a correct. Let us say now it's total 10 digit. Okay. But we do not know whether it is registered or not. I have just given random mobile number. So now you will observe a request will go proper. Request will go, see, because this is correct, right? But this message came, you are not registered. So from where that came? Now that message server has sent, and you can check here. Call will see here. This is the call. Flipkart, and you see in the request tab that this number went to the server, right? Proper, and then a response also came. And in response, somewhere it should be showing that that user is not registered or something. Expand this. See that not found, right? Not found because that request went, and this is called request payload. You can check here, and then it went to server, and server checked that it has identified that this mobile number doesn't exist, right? And hence it sent me a separate page that we see here. That message was there, right? If you observe, that message came again. That see this message, and now proper call is being. So you got, and we see also the actions are made. So always remember in performance testing, any user action, even I'll be talking about this later on, any user action or a transaction is a valid transaction, or we call it as a valid transaction only when you do anything here and you see the particular related request being made and response being received. Okay. Right. But earlier, suppose I was giving a wrong, yeah, wrong kind of thing. I'm giving a 9 digit, and if I'm clicking here, it's just throwing a message here. So this is done by JavaScript, okay, on user side, and there is no such call being made to the server. So these are what JavaScript files does on a website. Now, next thing. We have request, we have response, correct? Request is divided into two parts: request body, request header. Response is divided into two parts: response body and response header. So any request you'll see, any request like Google also, this is the Google. And if you click on that, you'll observe the get call. Below that, you'll see response header. Response header will be on top. And then downside, if you just scroll, you will see request header. So every request, see every request that gets fired, right, a request to the server, this is browser request, is divided into two parts: request body and request header. header. Okay. And same way, the response that comes from server side for that particular request, that is divided into response body. This is response body. Okay, this body and response header. Response header, right? Header. So again, showing you here the request URL that you see. Correct. Downside you'll observe request header, right? And then this is the response, which is in code format. So this is response body. What is this? This is response body, and here you'll observe response header. Okay. In them, uh, so you got the idea, right? What will be request body, request header, response body, response header. In request body, generally the URL that goes to the server or the payload. Okay, body data. Body data is also called as payload. Uh, Actually, there are different types of request: get request, put request, post request. Okay, that you can see directly here also. Here also you'll observe that is called request type, or you can see here also, right? So we'll see about them slowly. So for now, understand that generally in request body, what will be there? The request URL will be there. That will be part of request body, correct? And in some cases, if you are sending something from your end, remember, like on the same Flipkart page, we were sending the phone number, correct? And we were clicking on continue or somewhat. So, and we have observed that in request tab, it was showing us. Just one more went, correct? And yeah, see. So this is the request, and with that, that mobile. If you click on request tab more, so that mobile number went to the server. And let us say, just for just to show you, I'll just enter. Even this mobile number I didn't enter from my side. Maybe it will be someone else. I'll just enter a fake OTP. So it's checking when I'm entering. When I enter, it's trying to verify post calls are being made. See, so all the entries is going right. So means what? This information from our end is going to the server. The inputs. Input is not only this. Okay, anything. Suppose you are on the payment page and you are entering your card number, address, all those things, right? Or you are doing sign in, or you are entering username, password. All the, even you are uploading your photos. You are uploading your resume, right? All those are part of. All those are called body data or payloads. Okay, payload. Body. There are many names generally. They can be called anything, body data or user inputs, right? Generally, people nowadays calling them as payload. So payload means what? The user information. It can be anything. User credential, the password, the OTP that we send from our side, the address, the anything, the phone number that we enter on a page, or you upload any file to the server, right? Photo. That can be. That is what payload. So it depends. Every request doesn't have a payload. Understand, right? Every user action, every request doesn't have a payload. Only in those user action where you are sending that data, that request will be having payload. Getting the point, right? Like this normal Google call. I'm when I'm doing anything here. Simply, I'm suppose I'll refresh or I enter. So it's a normal call being made. Right? Generally, they are all get call. Uh, See here, and uh, here nothing is there. But suppose I'll try to search anything here. anything. Suppose JMeter, I'll type and I'll enter button. Some more there will be showing payload. Here, yeah, first query and get call. In request it will not show. Since it is search functionality, it's not showing in the request, but here you can see search query equal to JMeter as well. Not an issue. We can see on some other website. Simple website. I'll try to. Your username and passwords are there. Right. I'll try to do log. And you see the first post request here. HTTP come. So this is the post request. But those login credential that we entered, we do not see here. We have to go to the request tab and there you see. Right. So, right. So that's what. So every page didn't has payload, right? Where only you are entering, only that page or that user action or that transaction will have payload, and the requests related to that payload, you can see your sorry, the request related to that transaction where you are entering the payload, you can see the details in request tab, right? But all other action generally are just get request. Okay? They are just click, so they do not have payload like here only or the Amazon. Right? We were doing many things yesterday also. I've that suppose. You can stick in little time. Fine. Suppose I will click on a refrigerator. It stop. And just to be more convenient, I'll just click on here. There are many categories. If you click on any one of them, it will just show you that one. So for now, we are not focused on embedded resources and this unnecessary thing. So I'll just click on HTML and XHR request. Okay. And let me click on this refrigerator. So when I'm clicking on that, we are getting all the types of refrigerators, right? We have the request here. You can see, correct? And right, you can see here a new URL generated. You can just verify here also. But it will not be having payload because we didn't enter it in. We just did choice, right? Selection. So only when we are entering anything on the page from our end, username, password, anything, right? Or you are uploading some photo, resume, all those things, the documents, right? Those are called payload, and that you can see in the request tab. And only those transactions will be having payload. So every transaction do not have payload, right? Or every request do not have payload. Most of the requests are generally the GET request. They just go and fetch the response, right? Just to fetch the response. So in those requests, the URL, they will be having only URL as part of request body. Okay. And those requests which have a payload. So in them, the request URL and those body data, the uploaded file or the user inputs that we send, right? That we have sent, uh, those all are part of request body. Clear? Same way, in response body, response has also two parts: the response body and response header. So in response body, the code that you see are part of response body. Okay, the code. This is the code. Okay, this is part of response body. Very simple. Nothing there. Now come to the request. request headers. Yeah, come to the headers. Request headers and response header. See, headers are totally different. Header had nothing to do uh, uh, with the response and the request that we send. So you got the idea what will be there in request body and in response body. Uh, right? Request body and response body. Very simple thing. Whenever we do click or anything, request is generated, right? So that is part of request body. And if we are sending something from our end to the server, maybe password, phone number, OTP, whatever, so that comes as a payload, and that is also part of request body. And in response body, what will be there? The code will be there. Okay. The response code. Basically, always, because response always comes in code form. Now, next slide. We have headers, request headers and response headers. So headers are there, but they are little different thing. So headers, you see here, request header and response header. There are additional information which goes to the server with the request body from user end, right? Basically from the browser. So they are just additional information which goes to the server with request body from user end or from user side. So every request will obviously have request body will always be there because the URL and other thing are part of body, and it will always have a request header. Okay. A request is not complete without a header. Always remember, a request header is always there. So they are just additional information which goes to the server with request body from user end. Um, Basically from the browser to the server, to the server. And in the same way, um, so each request body has request header, correct? Same way, I'll show you what are there. No need to remember that, just we have to understand. Slowly, when you will be working, you will get the few names you will remember automatically. Same way, the response body that comes, right? So response comes, we have response body, that is code. And every response body has a response header. Will obviously have a response header. And again, these response headers are additional information sent by the server with response body to the user, correct? To the user. So every response body has response header. Now in them, what will be there? See here. This is response header, right? So the blue thing that you see, they are a fixed kind of name, and on the right hand side that you see, they are values. Values changes for every website, they changes. Okay, but this common tag name that you see, they are generally common for every website, and we do not have to remember. Again, I'm saying you have to just understand. So here you might see something for an example, few understandable thing. Uh, uh, Content type is important. So the it means that whatever the content is coming and going, which format it is, right? The data, the content. Uh, then there is a date for that. This time is different time. It's a GMT time. So, but it's today date, right? When this transaction is happening. Then many things are also there. These all things are there. To go there in that detail. Language, let us say which language is used. So it's English, right? English. Then slowly, if you scroll down, some many other information will also be there. Their cookies will be there, and yeah, cookie value will be there. Session IDs will be there. So I'll show you that also slowly. Same way in request header, you see except language, it will tell the type that we have seen here, the content type. Again, here you also you'll see the language, right? Uh, Correct. A language was there also here, right? Here. So the language we'll see. Then we have cookies, as I said, cookies information. So I'll tell about this cookies thing. We'll see that in separate session. Then we have host. It will tell you means the host name, the parent name, the domain name. like that. Okay, referral will be there like that. Right? Which agent generally is used uh, to access the website in technical form. This is not for us. The server in which language they understand. This is displayed. So this I'm just saying you for you guys to understand. No need to remember. We have to just understand that a request body has a request header and a response body has a response header. And they are just additional information which goes with the request, and these are the additional information which comes with the response. Okay? Few names slowly will remember when you keep on watching the things. Referer, accept encoding, language, right? User agent, host. These are simple thing. Even now also, hope you guys have understand that, right? Language, the date, like this. There cookies are there. I'll be explaining about cookies also. Cookies are important thing. So these things are there, right? Now there will be question from your end that why these are there. Already we have request URL, fine. Already we have response body that is in code format. We understand that, right? But why this? What this has to do with those things, right? Because those are very self-understandable, very self-explanatory, right? The request body. Okay, when I'm doing something, a request URL is going and response is coming. Very self-explanatory. But what these things are there, right? Why they are there? Okay, that question will be there. So see, these are there to make a request and a response. This request header and response header make each user action, or you can say each transaction. Okay, each user action basically each request, because at the end of the day, every user action or a transaction generating a request only, right? One or multiple requests. So basically, it makes each request unique to the server, so that server can recognize that request uniquely out of so many same request and sends the correct response. For that purpose, this is there. So this is very important to understand. So I'll tell you very simple way. You do one thing, okay? In your laptop, you open a Google Chrome, okay, Google Chrome, and you open another Google Chrome also in incognito mode, right? Incognito mode, you hope you know, right? What is incognito? Private mode. It's called incognito. So there also you open Google Chrome, okay? Same time. Uh, in same time you can open. Here you saw again. Here also you open Amazon. Here also you open Amazon. Here you search Nike shoe. Just type Nike there, and here you type Adidas shoe. Suppose this is just for an example. Adidas shoes. You will never see that this result is going here and this result is coming here. Even your device is same. Even the browser is same. Okay. Even internet IP, what we say, all these things are same. Wi-Fi, everything is same. Then why there is no conflict? Even the website is same. Even I'm searching shoes, but only thing is name is different. So why this everything is same, right? So why this Nike result I'm searching here, why it's not coming here? This there can be conflict. This can happen, right? But how concrete or how you can say that how correct way it's sending me the data. Nike will just come here only and Adidas will come here. They will not interaction. How? That question is there, right? How? At least. Why? Right? How correct? How stable this is there? Even everything is same. User, laptop information, IP address, browser, Wi-Fi, everything. I'm saying to do it on same laptop, not on other forget about that. There you can put a question, okay, IP address is different, so server is recognizing depending on IP address. No, it's not IP address. Okay, this example, how it's happening, even IP address, right? You got the idea how it's happening because of this, right? Because of this. So this is simple example. So in this same take as a very wider form. Suppose Amazon is there and 10 lakh people, means 1 million people accessing that website every hour. How Amazon recognizes what to serve to whom. Simple answer, right? What to serve, this are serve to whom. Means suppose 10 lakh people, 10 lakh people are sending are browsing Amazon, right? Doing many things. How server recognizing them each and sending them correct response back to them. That is what to serve to whom, and that is correct. That never mismatch. That never goes wrong. Or the same example that I told, that you practice or you can do in your laptop only. Right? Suppose anyone having dual monitor system, they can, or somehow you just try, because it is impractical generally to do uh, at same time searching the thing opening. But yeah, with little gap you can try immediately. Um, Here you type Google. So Adidas here, Nike, and you see in same laptop only, the conflict will never happen. Who is responsible? Even they are not tracking. Let us say even if they are tracking IP address, but in this case, IP address is same, Wi-Fi address same, MAC address of my laptop, everything same, right? Then also how it is just showing correct one at where it has to show, right? It is not conflicting. So because of this headers, got the idea? So in same way for 10 lakh people browsing, they always gets the correct response, and they gets what they are searching from the server. They are accessing from the server. The conflict never happens. So basically because of header. And in headers also the important one are, which is responsible for them, are the session value, the cookie value that we see. Okay. You see the values and other thing you see, which is like there, the token, session token is there. They are more responsible for that. But again, they are part of header only. Header only. So we, as I said, we'll talk about that session cookie value maybe tomorrow because it's late today. Right? So this is there. So that's why these headers are there. And a request is incomplete without headers. Same a response is also incomplete without headers. Next, yeah. Now type request method type. So as I said, there are request methods. So HTTP component had how many schemas or how many components are there? 5. Request, response, then headers, right? And then methods. Methods are the type of the request. So as you said, you can see the methods here. For every request, no need to go and see all those things. Forget about that. But generally, they will reflect here. The method and the status codes are there. The every request, right? Every request. That request is, yeah. Suppose this is the request for searching the when we click on that fridge, right? And we had the response, that fridge. So just click here. So this is the response. So the type of generally you'll see will be get. So most of the requests are generally get one, because most of the time we are just doing click. We are just doing click, click, click. So all are get requests. Get request just fetch the information. Okay. When we are sending something from our end, that is always a post request. So for, let us say here, this website, uh, the username and password that we have sent, it's a post request. Here also on Flipkart even, so a post request. Okay, post request. We send something from our, right? So that are post request. Then we have a put request. Put request, in put request also the data goes from user end. It's like our post request only. User inputs goes. But put request is different from post request. Put request will be very rare, you'll find. It is used to update something existing data. Means let us say that already something, some informations are there and you want to update that. Okay. So that is the inbuilt functionality. We do not control these types of requests, right? We do not have to worry about that also. And we have to just observe, and at least we have to just know this all stuff. We have to just know the details. These things are inbuilt by the developers, but at least we should have the idea. So that is put request, then delete again anything you want to delete, or the functionality is there to delete specific thing that will be deleted. We have options. Options requests are also there. Generally, they are made before post request. So they're also not that much important, but you will observe options request most of the time. Options request are made. See here, options here also. Generally, option requests are attached with the post request. Sometimes they are with get request also. I cannot say with always with post request, but they are there. With get request also they are there. So let us say this is the request, post request, right? URL is same if you just check, and then below that it's same same post and same options request. Here you will see options request getting fired after post request, but actually uh, option request fired before post request. Okay. They are there just to check some functionality. Like before post request is made, they are used to do some stuff. So no need to go in that technical stuff. Uh, what we have to understand is their options request, and they do not hold much importance because they do not bring any response. Okay, they do not bring any response, so we do not have to worry. What we have to worry about is only those requests which are bringing the response, right? Then we have head, connect, trace. These are also there, but this you will find very rare, right? You'll find very. So most of the time you'll see always get request, because more everything is get very. Sometime when you are entering some data, it will be post request. You'll observe, and then options request will be the options request fires before get request also on most of some of the website, right? So they will be there. But again, this doesn't bring any response or anything. We do not focus much on this request also, right? So like I'm saying this from performance tester point of view, because we have here to do the performance testing. What is the performance testing? If you understand, performance testing is same thing, sending this request, let us say the search request that we send or here, this is the request, right, which brought me the response of that fridge, the all the fridge when I clicked on that fridge. So performance testing is what, sending this request for multiple users. This is just for one user. Now the same thing will be sent for multiple users, because there can be chance that multiple users are searching the refrigerators, right? Possible, no? Huh? Multiple users are searching laptop, so searching, sending this multiple time and then checking the response, right? uh, and then the time for that. Okay, so that is what the load testing, the performance testing. Okay. So that's why we have to focus on, like from a performance tester point of view, the 4 requests are more important. In that also, this will find very rare it's happening. In API testing, generally they happen. You'll find them rare. This you'll observe most of the time. In that also, this is 99% you'll observe the gate post only when the user is sending some data from his end. We'll see post request. Okay. These requests are almost like same time, same thing, or they do the same behavior what our CRUD thing is doing. So in SQL language, if you have little bit of idea, we have CRUD operations. Okay, create, read, update, delete, especially in DB cases. So create is when we create the data. Okay. So insert, create a that table or inserting. There is an insert query, right, in DB, which creates the data. Okay. And for reading, we have select a query in select, right? If you remember, select query is there in SQL language. Then for updating any information, we have update query is there, right? Update. And to delete anything, we have delete query, right? Delete query. So this request also have almost same kind of thing. Like get request just fetch the information, and every click almost are get request. Post when you are entering some data, sending some user in. Put is a special case when it is put or patch are same thing. Okay, remember put or patch are same thing. When there is something to update the existing data and delete it. So this is just for a reference purpose I have used. We have a CRUD in SQL language. So this behavior of this types of request is also almost same, just for an example purpose to do a correlation to establish an relation between that. I've just shown that. But yeah, it's helpful also. You got the idea, right? There is a CRUD operation. It can in interview also they can ask. Now response code, which is the last component of a HTTP protocol. So response code you see here, the response code will be displayed here, which is also called as a status code. So every request that gets fired, when you click on header tab, we'll see everything, the type, the URL, and the code here, the status here. There are 5 kind of status codes. We'll learn about them slowly, right? So one X series, in that 3 are there: 101, 100, 101, 102, 2X series, 2X series, 200 series. Most of the time you will see them everywhere, the 200 series you see. Then we have 300 series. 300 series are few again. And that 300 also you'll see 302 redirect to address. These are all redirect. 302 most of the time you'll observe. Uh, so 302 was occurring here also. I think in Google it was or here also. Yeah, 302. So I'll be explaining about this redirecting 302. Slowly, do not worry. So 200, 300, 300, 200. Okay, mostly 200. 100 series you will very rare, right? Even I have not seen it yet now. Okay, so these are our application sites status code, and this is uh, the important one which we focus on. Any server is throwing whenever error. These are all the error code that we will receive, and you might have observed this in your life somewhere, right? Suppose your website is down, error code comes, right, of 500 series, right? 502 bad gateway, like this. You might have seen this somewhere in your life, correct? Internal server error or bad gateway. So these they have a code. That is what 500 series code, server side error. So, and that is what we are going to test. Like whenever we're putting more load, we are going to observe this kind of thing. That is what we are going to find: the response time and the codes, the behavior of the server. Right? So these are 500 series. This is 400. 400 series client error. This is important in our scripting. Means the script that we prepare according to which the JMeter tool or any tool works, right? So in that script, if you do any kind of error, you are going to receive this kind of codes. So that we have to focus on, so that we should not receive any kind of this error, because this error are of user side error. Means if a user is sending the request or the data wrong to the server, obviously server will send you a wrong information, right? So that's why it's called client error or user. Client means user here. See, always client means user and server means server, the application. Okay. So we should not have these errors, right? And whenever this kind of error we see, um, it means that there is some problem in our request being sent to the server, and we have to work on that so that that problem gets fixed. Okay, so we'll talk about them again. In that also, you'll see bad gateway, unauthorized, forbidden, not found, method not allowed, request timeout. Then this 429 too many requests. Will this right? 4, 5 that I have highlighted. Again, I'll tell you. Bad request, unauthorized, forbidden, not found, that not allowed, request timeout, uh, and here are too many requests. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of status code you will find very rarely happening because of maybe it's because of the script problem, and script means the request that you are sending. So we'll talk about this later. In server side, the common error that always comes are internal server errors, bad gateway, service unavailable, gateway timeout. Yeah, the 4 main one. Okay, internal server error, bad gateway, 503, 504, bad gateway. These are very common. Means they are only they you will observe. These all will very rarely occur. These also very rare. Same way here, 1 series has not come yet. 200 you will see most of the time. 200, 202. You see they are already there. In 3x 302 you'll see mostly. It doesn't mean all. What I'm trying to say is means all are there. Okay, but in 90% of cases, what you will observe when you do this kind of exercise, right? You'll observe these codes only. That's what I just highlighted. Okay. Now, so I have to end, I think. We have a transactions, right? And then is and catch. Right. So this we will see the cookie and cache, the user session which are part of request header. We'll talk about too. So any questions? So any questions?
Actually, I have one query regarding accept language or content language. Both are same or different?
They can be same in most of the cases. See, the little the content is except is language is technically for the server. The content language is for us. So suppose except language, suppose you are accessing a website in other language like Chinese or German, they can be there, right? Or Hindi. So the except language will remain same. Content it will show a different.
And user agent, regarding user agent
That
terminology.
user agent is server understandable form of the browser. Means it tells that which browser you are using. So the technically uh, those hardware they do not understand Google Chrome or Firefox or Opera browser or Edge. They don't understand this, okay, because there can be many browsers. So this is a technical common word. Tell that okay using which agent. Agent means this browser you are accessing. So most of the time you'll see this almost remains same. Or it it cannot be same also because I think I have access from Mozilla, but few information in them you can see same. But again, no need to worry about that.
Mhm.
As I said, no need to worry about this all. You have to just understand. So you have understood. That's what. Do not go for your understanding sake. You can go, but again, This is nothing much to do with performance testing. That's why I'll not explain much on this. Okay, right? Suppose a referrer is there. Referrer will tell you the previous page from which page you are coming. So it will always change. So like that, many things are there. Cache is there, cache control. So forget. Okay, anything else? Fine then. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.